morning, everybody. It is February 1st, and we are not quite at all in any way out of winter just yet. A lot of times we have our worst snow in February. But I'm already starting to think about spring because it was a little unseasonably warm last night. It got me thinking about what we're going to do with the children once it really starts to warm up and we can start going out and going on field trips again and actually getting out of the house for significant periods of time, to be outside for large chunks of time. We are a big playground family. We like to go out to parks, we like to go out to hikes, we like to go to playgrounds, and we like to explore. And so my eldest, being 7, we spent the last 5 years going out and exploring and checking out where all the cool playgrounds are. So if you live in or around Washington, D.C., I've got some advice for you. If you don't, and you want to hear about the cool stuff in Washington, D.C., by all means, listen up. If you live in a different city and know of some cool playgrounds, let me know. But if you don't know of any playgrounds, you're not interested in that, you don't live near Washington, D.C., there's no point in you even watching. We'll see you tomorrow. So I'll start at the north and work my way south. Germantown, right in the middle of Germantown, Maryland, which is right in just about the center of Montgomery County. They've got this great park near the soccerplex called the Germantown Adventure Park. The Adventure Park is this huge playground with this gigantic castle, and off to the side there's this big sailing ship. And as an aside, everybody calls it the pirate ship, but there is nothing about this vessel to make you think that it's a pirate ship. It could be Imperial Navy, it could be a merchant vessel, it could be a pirate ship. There's just nothing to indicate that it's a pirate ship of the various types of entities that could be sailing this ship. So I don't know why people call it a pirate ship. Probably because they don't have a better word to use for it. I mean, I was just call it the sailing ship or the merchant vessel, or not merchant vessel, sailing ship or the sea vessel. But people call it a pirate ship. Huge castle, weird looking swings, lots of different things to play on, climbing wall, and it's big, it's really big. So, one of the coolest, lots of things you can climb up on and look out over, and big slides to go down, and lots of ways you can go up one way and come down a different way. And a really great place to play tag if you take a group of kids, or if you can find a good group out there already playing. The negative, of course, is that in a huge place like that, it's obviously very popular, which means it's very crowded, which means if you have little kids, you gotta be actively keeping an eye on them, just to make sure you know where they're at. It's only peace of mind kind of a thing. Never had any incidents there. Everybody who goes there is really great. Clientele's awesome. Highly recommend going there. If you want to go when it's not crowded, Saturday morning, like 10 a.m., there's hardly ever anybody there. It's really cool. Of course, you don't want to go out Saturday morning, 10 a.m. when it's real chilly out, but, middle of the summer, it's actually a better time to go. Moving a little further south, middle of Gaithersburg, Maryland, right near downtown Gaithersburg, they got this place called Constitution Gardens. It's not a huge park by any stretch of the imagination, and, for your older kids, they could get bored, depending on if they're engineeringly minded or not. The cool thing about Constitution Gardens is everything's partly organic or somewhat organic. That's weird. Somebody's going really. Oh, she wanted to wave at the guy walking the dog. Oh, how cute. People drive like idiots. Everybody drives like idiots, and that pisses people off. It's a rather small park, Constitution Gardens, but there's no, metal or plastic. Plastic. There's metal, but there's no plastic. It's all wood and mostly wood. And the big thing about it is it's very organic looking. It's very natural, and they've got this huge bit that is a big sand pit with a pipe that you can pump to get water to pour out into the sand, so you can dam things up and build castles that get destroyed and things like that. And then around the corner they got this creek, concrete creek bed that you can pump water into and have the water go down. You can dam that up also. Really pretty different, unlike anything else I've ever seen. It looks like a lot of parks are going in this general direction, which I think is cool. Like open nature area where you kids can just go play. That's designated in this area, so you can keep an eye on them, but very much more natural. Moving a little further south, When you get to Bethesda, Maryland, you will have the shoot, I'm blanking on the name, but Cabin John. That's Cabin John Playground. Cabin John is a big park, northern Bethesda, and what's neat about Cabin John is the playground is in the woods. And so you can go in the middle of August on a super hot day and be shaded and not be swelteringly hot. A lot of these playgrounds, especially the newer ones, are built in newer areas where there aren't huge trees. So the shade is a precious commodity. I'd state King Farm Playground in Rockville, Maryland, is a great playground and is very close to our house. However, you don't want to go in the summertime because there's no shade at all. So dusk is fine, first thing in the morning is fine, but noon on a hot July afternoon, or not noon, a hot July day, forget about it. But Cabin John is great big trees, and it's cool because it's really, really spread out. There's lots of little things. Got to be at least a dozen, if not more, little playgrounds, many of which are different. There's one that's like a mini maze, and another that's just these big things you climb on, a couple that's just 3 big slides. None of them alone are very impressive. Many of them alone are different and interesting. But when you put them all together, then you can really walk around and enjoy the shade, which is really cool there. In addition to that, they have a dog park. So you got a dog, bring your dog, have them run around leashless, which is cool. And they have a miniature train, which during normal seasons you can ride for like $1.50 a pop, which is cool. It's not horribly entertaining. I mean, it's like less entertaining than the train ride that they would have at Disney World because it's a much smaller train. But it is cool because it goes through the woods, and if you got a 4 or 5-year-old, it's perfect for them. They'll thoroughly enjoy it. Older brothers aren't going to be, or sisters aren't going to be too miffed to go on either. They're certainly not going to complain. But the price point is what absolutely gets me. I mean, it's only, it only costs $5 to take the 3 of us to go. You can buy a whole book of tickets for like $20, something like that. It's not bad. To go a little further south, but then mostly now out to the east, is Wheaton Regional Park, which is very similar to Cabin John, in that it has a train and it has a carousel. So the same tickets that you get for Cabin John, you can now use at Wheaton, or at either the carousel or the train. So the carousel's typical carousel. It's really nice. It's cool. It's fun. Carousels, I think, are stupid, but people like to ride them, and it's neat that this park has one that's not super expensive. And then the park itself is just probably the coolest park in Maryland. It's got these slides. So you're standing at the bottom of the slide, and there is a 8-foot retaining wall in front of you. And so you climb up this retaining wall through this little hole in a big fence. And then you go to the other side. Then you climb up the staircase that goes probably 12 feet in the air. And there's these slides you can go down that go all the way down to the bottom where you were. So these slides are, 25 feet in the air. Down these slides, and then several of them. And then beyond that, there's this giant hill, like perfect domed hill that you just kind of run up or sit down. I don't know what people like to do on it, but you can do whatever you want. It's got a big, wide expanse of lots of different things to do. It's got this ditch digger in the sand. You use your hands to operate a backhoe. Lots of little parks scattered here and there. Lots of picnic tables around. And then, just playground equipment for climbing and things. Lots of different things, stuff I haven't seen other places. Wheaton's really cool just because it is so big and expansive. But the slides are probably the best part of that park. And then lastly is a park that honestly I've only ever been to once, and we didn't spend very much time there because it's on the other side of the Potomac. It's in McLean, Virginia. It's called, pronunciation forgiveness please, it's called Clemmy Joiney Park. It's got a carousel right in the middle of it, and it is the biggest, like I would call, single unit playground I've ever seen. It's not like Cabin John where it's spread out in lots of little pieces. And even Adventure Park in Germantown is broken up. This park, this is not just a park. It is a playground. I wouldn't even say it is a park. It's just a playground. It's not a very big park, but the playground in it is ginormous. We only went once. It was on Black Friday. We just happened to be driving by, and I wanted to check it out. So we stopped off for a little while, and it was pretty cold out, so we didn't stay very long. Half of it was closed, but we still spent about a half an hour there just wandering around exploring. I don't even remember all the little intricacies of the things that it had, but it was it was the size that was impressive more than anything else. But every piece of it was different and unique. It wasn't like just the same old stuff repeated over and over again. The one thing I do remember was it had a big maze. I mentioned that Cabin John had a maze, but that maze was really small. This maze was very large. It had, I think, 4-foot walls, and it really took you a minute to figure it out. It wasn't like you looked at it and instantly saw the solution. You could go in as an adult and kind of have a second guess as to which way you were supposed to go. So as a kid, it must have felt enormous. Highly recommend going down there. I'd like to go. It's just, from our perspective, there's so much to do on this side of the river that I always say, well, you know what? I got a list of things that I want to do when I go on the other side of that river. And we just never get on the other side of that river for any reason other than like a huge thing. And so we never have free time when we're open. But in any event, if you live in or around Montgomery County or Washington, D.C. in general, you got lots of cool options. You live in the area, or you live wherever you live. I don't care, wherever you live. I want to hear about the cool places that you like to go. The thing is that it used to be that this stuff was hidden. I remember searching when Glenn was first born, cool playgrounds or parks in the area, and it was very difficult to navigate those websites. And there wasn't a really good message board I could go on and say, just got a kid born in this area. What does everybody like to do outside? What do you do park-wise, playground, other hidden cool things for kids to do? And didn't, especially because I was one of the first of my friend circle who had children. So it wasn't like I could just say, hey, friends, what do you guys like to do? Now all my friends are saying, hey, what do you like to do to me? But now the websites are a little better, message boards. I'm sure Reddit's got a great post about that. Just 9-10 years ago, it wasn't quite that way. But in any event, I want to hear what you think. Share your experience, your hidden gems, and in any event, have a nice day.